The lights of Broadway always shine here in the Big Apple, but tonight's show is Ivy League basketball from Columbia University here on the American Sports Network. Hi, Ivy League fans. It's Yale at Columbia, and let's start off this game talking about something really important, and that's women's rights. You see, Justin Sears at Yale, the day before Yale upset UConn, Justin Sears went to listen to former President Jimmy Carter, who was speaking at Yale. Sears said, "Some of my teammates and I went to listen. His focus was on women's rights, campus culture, and the way women are treated around the world. It was refreshing to hear a guy that high up in power speak about women's equality. You don't hear that too often," he said. The next day, Sears was equal to the task as Yale beat defending national champion UConn 45-44. Sears had 12 points, 15 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 blocks. Now that was refreshing, but I got to wonder, how would Yale do against the UConn women? I think Jimmy Carter already knows. For Columbia, Maldo Lowe. You see, Maldo Lowe went to high school in Berlin, Germany, not Connecticut. He was raised by a German mother and a Senegalese father. He came to America to play basketball, and it was immediate culture shock. When Coach Kyle Smith told Lowe that Americans would kill to get the NCAA tournament, Lowe was startled and confused. Well, he soon figured out it was more like World Cup, and that was okay. And so we've got a great matchup here, as we've got Yale on the road at Columbia. This is a huge game in the Ivy League. Let's get ready for Yale at Columbia. Women's rights versus culture shock. Justin Sears versus Maldo Lowe.
Pulitzer Prize-winning author Herman Wouk once wrote, "The best things of the moment were outside the rectangle of Columbia. The best things of all human history and thought were inside." If only you had the sense, you could spend 4 years in an unforgettably exciting alternation between two realms of magic. That doubled magic is lasting me a lifetime.
And now, the scorers for your Columbia Lions. And for the 6'8" sophomore from Pembroke Pines, Florida, Florida, Chuck Cody. And for the 6'4" junior from Orlando, Florida, number 2, Isaac Cohen.
Juno hit the Columbia campus, and even though it's biting cold outside, the action will heat up indoors when Columbia takes on Yale in an Ivy League showdown. All the action is next on the American Sports Network. Live from the Levian Gymnasium, Morningside Heights in New York City, the American Sports Network presents Ivy League basketball. Tonight, the Columbia Lions play host to the Bulldogs from Yale. Well, hi everyone, I'm Paul Reuter, joined by Blaine Taylor, the former head coach of Old Dominion University, racked up almost 400 wins in the Division I level. Now let's break down Columbia and Yale. Blaine, these two teams have played once or twice, haven't they?
An astonishing 228 times to be exact. But what magnifies the importance of this game is the format in the Ivy League is a Friday-Saturday 14-game format that they call their conference tournament because they don't have a conference tournament. So every one of these games is huge.
Let's take a look at those Ivy League standings, and for the first time in 14 years, Yale looking to go 3-0 to start the year. That's the importance of the early part of the schedule for these teams in the Ivy League. Now, there's a couple of outstanding players for Yale that we'll talk about. First, let's break it down with Javier Duran.
Well, he's got really solid numbers, and he's led the way to this point, and I think it speaks that he hasn't been Player of the Week not once, not twice, but 3 times.
And, of course, the Star Watch player for Yale, how about Justin Sears?
Well, you see him on film here doing the finishing, going down the lane. He plays a little bit of defense at 6'8". He's really rangy, explosive finishes, all the kind of stuff. Scores a lot of different ways, face up, go by you. He's really been on a tear lately, averaging 21 and 10, and of course gets on the glass at both ends.
And for the Columbia Lions, of course, the Lions have a star watch player, and he's extremely talented, Mao Do-Lo.
Mr. Everything, Player of the Year candidate, steals the ball, assists, but he can score, as you see here on film. Scores from two in unorthodox ways, can fire in three-pointers, great percentages from everywhere, from two, from three. You see him coming up off 1 foot here, kind of a little bit of a European flair. He is from Berlin, and of course he can shoot the three. They'll need a big breakout performance from him tonight.
Starting lineups, watch Matt Townsend, number 42. Why? He was just named a Rhodes Scholar, one of 32 in the nation for Columbia, number 23. Corey Ostakowski, solid numbers, 7 points, 6.5 rebounds. Columbia in the home white, Yale in the navy. There is the head coach, James Jones, the man in the middle, 16th season on the bench, a 1986 graduate from the University of Albany. In his 5th year, Kyle Smith, 1992 graduate from Hamilton College. The officials for today's game, Gary Prager, Kenneth Clark, and John Gill. Nice crowd on hand at Levian Gymnasium. We talked about how cold it is outside. Well, that's how hot it's going to get inside here, Blaine, as these two teams get ready to match up here in Ivy League basketball. Opening tip taken away, and there's Kyle Caston for the first 2 points.
That was almost like it was a play. Jeez, talk about jumping up on somebody.
He is a great athlete, the 6'4" freshman from Marietta, Georgia, averaging almost 10 points a night.
He's really the one young player in the starting lineup. Both pretty veteran teams. A lot of juniors, seniors.
Working on the outside, Armani Cotton, 6'7" senior, 10 seconds to shoot. Run a little play there with Jack Montague. 5 to shoot right now. Looking to spin is Sears. Gets it off. The up and under is short. Battle for it. Hit the baseline, and it will be Columbia Lions possession.
I think what you noticed there was they really barricaded the paint. Both teams pride themselves in spacing the court and trying to get the defense spread out. Both good defensive teams. But he ended up getting to the basket, just didn't quite get in the hole.
So now Columbia back on offense. Mao Do-Lo. He will control outside the arc. This is Jeff Kobe, a 6'8" sophomore. Goes about 220. 20 on the shot clock, just underway from Columbia. Morningside Heights in New York City. Nice little short jumper. Jeff Kobe came in averaging almost 6, his first 2, a sophomore from Pembroke Pines, Florida.
Columbia was a little bit nervous last week. Had a sold-out crowd on Saturday. It didn't quite play as well as they'd like. It sure got a nice start tonight.
Quick start there for Duran. Gave it up. Ripped out there. Missing Townsend. On the window is Isaac Cohen. Cohen holds the dribble.
Sears and Duran have both got good looks. Wide open jumper for a good shooter. Layup for their player of the week. Most recently, and all of a sudden they got no points. So things aren't looking good right now until they get something going.
Almost 2 minutes into this first half, 4-0 Columbia. The Lions with possession. Cohen holding high, 8 to shoot in the corner. Now they go down low. Ostakowski trying to baseline move to his right. Baby hook.
Boy, that was pretty. He really paused for poise, gathered himself late in the clock. Feathery soft touch on that jump hook.
Quite the athlete is Ostakowski. Pitched for Columbia's baseball team in the 2012 campaign. The Lions on top, 6-0.
Must have been about 8 foot on top of that pitcher's mound.
Can you imagine him on the hill? Knocked away. Columbia playing some solid D. Now look to push it, Blaine. Trying to save and able to do so. Armani Cotton.
Got a little greedy there. They were going good and all of a sudden turn it over.
Duran caught up with it before a travel could have been called. Columbia very active with the hands defensively.
Watching them go through stuff, it was really interesting watching these teams prepare today. So thorough, so cerebral. They really knew where the other guys were going. They're ready to move their feet, put hands in the right spot.
Shot clock down to 10. Quick move, Townsend. Kick out there is Durant. Launches. It's short. The position was there. Got a piece of it was Kobe. And here's Lowe now bringing over the timeline.
Kobe did a real nice job keeping Sears off of the glass.
Turnover there on the traveling call with 16:52 remaining in this first half. Kyle Smith. What a job he has done.
Really well respected, you know, by way of San Diego, St. Mary's, went to Hamilton College here in New York, and he's really done a nice job, really well thought of around here.
21 wins a year ago, the most since 1967-68, also went to the postseason. I think that 67-68 team had Jim McMillan, the outstanding player who saw time in the NBA. First 2 points in the game, put him there in tight. Justin Sears came out on almost 14.
That's gotta make James Jones feel good to get Sears started a little bit, get the ball in the hole. You see how active he was down there, fighting people for the ball and getting it in the middle.
Made first team All-Ivy last year as a sophomore, the first sophomore to do so since Chris Dudley did it back in 1985 for Yale. Corner jump, nothing but the bottom of the net on a 3-ball there by Mao Do Lo. That is his 43rd triple of the season.
You see how nice his action is. He was in that ready position. That ball was gone. He did a real nice job at turning the ball to the second side, what we call throwing it across the street, going into the post, and it's really nice action.
Giving it up and now working offensively is Duran to his left, in tight, left-hand runner. Flying high for the rebound. Got a push on the rebound, and the foul has been called.
Hey, where we're sitting, Carl, his head was at the 35 on the shot clock. What a cloud piercer.
Timeout on the floor. Quick start for Columbia. 9-2 over Yale. Watching all the action on the American Sports Network.
Hey, Banks. Have a seat and let me make you uncomfortable. Up those grades, son, or the only position you'll be playing in college is sitting on me. You're still awake? Have a seat on old Mr. Bench. At least your buns will fall asleep.
Is this the one about the high school hotshot who gets benched in college?
Hey, man, T, move down.
It's a tearjerker!
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
College basketball on the American Sports Network is brought to you by CokeCareers.com.
Carl Reuter, Blaine Taylor, the American Sports Network. We're at Columbia University, and the Lions on top 9-2. We teased it at the top, saying that it was real cold outside, but it would get real hot in here. Nobody hotter right now than Columbia.
Well, they got 4 different guys that have scored. Last weekend, Maldo Lowe was doubled and tripled. Right here, you've got an interior touch. They turn the ball to the other side of the street. There's Maldo with 4 different scores, and him scoring like that, boy, you can see why they're ahead.
Columbia early shooting 4 of 4. And Yale, a little bit of a slow start, 1 for 6. Thus, the 7-point advantage for the Columbia Lions.
You always have fans ask you, why don't you start faster in games? You never know why you do and why you don't. But watching preparation and looking at Columbia's last game, you would have thought they would have come out very intent on getting a good start today.
Well, one of the keys that Kyle Smith had in this game, he said, we've got to be able to rebound with Yale. So far, they've been able to do so. Flipped it up, just beating the shot clock, but missing there was Sears.
I actually had some of their staff asking me questions about rebounding. I had some pretty good rebounding teams at Old Dominion. Actually led the nation one year, and so we were just kind of talking about it, and I didn't really realize the emphasis that they were placing on that in this game. And with a guy like Sears that's a double-double guy, and they're very, very conscious of that, affecting transition defense, second shots, fouls, and of course points.
You just saw the lead official. There he is, Gary Prager, baseline. Again, he's working with Kenneth Clark and John Gill. Steve Frankowski, number 5, is checked in. He is a 6'2" senior. His dad played basketball at Fordham, was a captain of that team in the mid-'70s, and he played for Hal Whistle at Fordham University. So father-son playing college hoops in the metropolitan area.
What a luxury.
Caslin left hand off the window. Too strong.
What a luxury to have a senior coming off the bench as your 6th man.
3. It. And now the Columbia Lions with Lowe, bringing it right back to the offensive side of the floor. Isaac Cohen controls. There's Lowe. Flip it, work the perimeter.
Real nice spacing. You see a lot of patterns here.
Koski to his left.
Assist by the senior. Frankowski comes in and just knows the offense, knows where to go with the ball.
2 field goals for 4 for Ostakowski, who they were worried a little bit questionable, but he's able to play because of that thigh bruise.
He gives him a different dimension. He means legit 6'11", carries big, good weight.
Loose change, did not go down for Cotton. Knocked out of bounds, last touch by Yale. Wholesale substitutions, we will get to them as the flow goes back into play.
Like a hockey line, the Rangers just change lines.
No, they might have to change a little bit more after another loss last night. All of a sudden a drought in goal scoring, getting shut out last night, 1-0.
Well, that's the nice thing about basketball. You rarely get shut out.
We're never shut out, were you?
You know,
might have pitched a shutout or two, but
I actually
baseball.
I actually did once. So we were rained out after 1.
Here's Chris McComber. Looked to screen there and try to go around. It was low, and he got held as the shot clock was winding down.
Boy, he showed some handles there. I mean, he sucked with the hesitation and split that trap off the on-ball screen, and that's a move that kids work on, but not a lot of them are as good or as quick as he was with doing it.
Duran picked up the personal foul. Early on, Columbia up by 9, 13:40 remaining in this first half from the Levian Gymnasium, Morningside Heights, New York City.
New clock, and they're going to use it. They're running some real nice patterns. Kyle Caston is a really good freshman, aggressive, plays real loose, really a dimension for Columbia.
Good numbers, too, for the freshman. Almost 10 points a game, 4 rebounds, shooting 48% from the field, 5 to shoot. Nice look, corner jump with the hit the iron there, and missing it was McComber.
And that was created by Frankowski. The senior is pretty veteran. He kind of knows what to do when he gets out there.
Here's Yale now. 7 minutes in.
They're so close to getting on track. They've had close to rebounds, close to made shots. Some have rattled out.
Oh, the blow-by Makai Mason, his first 2, the freshman from Greenfield, Mass.
They call that straight line driving. That's a little geometry. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Boy, he went straight to the basket.
James Jones said that he's just the ultimate gym rat. Quite the compliment for a basketball player. Changing hands on the dribble. Offensive foul has been whistled on Lowe. Second personal on Maldo Lowe.
Oh boy, what a big play that is. You know, the old 50-50 charge block, you know, the more you coach, the more you play, the more you watch, the more you announce. You always look at them, and it just really depends on whether you're wearing white or blue out here on the court, what your vantage point is on that call.
Number 1, Anthony Dallier coming in for Yale, a 6'6" sophomore from Wexford, Pennsylvania. Knocked away, but on that reach around, getting whistled for the foul. Number 5 of Columbia, Steve Frankowski.
I think Maldo Lowe is more used to playing minutes. One of the things I'm noticing is Kyle Caston is fatigued, and we're approaching the 12-minute timeout. And I think if they would have had a normal rotation, it would have been Caston getting the sub, not Lowe, and that second foul impacted the rotations.
Again, baseline looked like he was hit, was Mason, and James Jones up in arms looking for the call, but did not get it.
Well, he's hoping to manufacture some points. Best way is to get to the free throw line.
There with the young man we're talking about, Kyle Castlin, and what he has done so far as a freshman for the Columbia Lions. To his left is Mason. Whistle on the outside on a hold with 11:53 remaining in this first half. Columbia on top of Yale by the score of 11-4 from the Levian Gymnasium, Morningside Heights, New York City. We'll be back on the American Sports Network right after this.
It's 3 p.m. For 50 million kids across America, school's out. And for a third of these kids, they're out on their own. Out with nowhere to go and nothing to do. But every afternoon is a chance to change America's future. All you have to do is open the door. It's time to support the Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
Hey, be sure to tune in tomorrow for Horizon League basketball. Valparaiso at the University of Illinois at Chicago. Tip-off, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's only on the American Sports Network. Your teams, your passion, your network, the American Sports Network.
The American Sports Network is sure making its presence felt all over the country. 10, 11 leagues that we're doing. So I'm sure got a lot of compliments from people about the exposure that these leagues are getting, these teams are getting, these players are getting.
And it's great to be at an Ivy League setting on a Friday night in the dead of winter here at the Levian Gymnasium. Looking to spin, got tripled, kicked it out. Duran, 3-ball.
Well, I was going to say they were 2 for 12 at the timeout, and I would thought they would probably crack loose and made a couple of shots. I think Kyle Caston probably needs to be pretty aggressive with Maldo Lowe with foul trouble.
Duran's first three, now the aggressive defense. Sears ahead of the field.
All right, a couple back-to-back baskets. Coach Smith just clapping his hands, says, let's go back at him. The only thing I'm going to tell you is settle down, guys. So let's settle down and let's play.
9-point Columbia lead, whittled down to just 2 now.
That was a quick 5 points.
In about 10 seconds, Luke Petrasic, the sophomore. Now, even though he's 6'10", 215, I watched him on Long Island at Northport High School. That's a guy who, on a regular basis, knocked him down from the distance. He could go inside, but he could face the basket lane.
Well, you were talking about him in the pre-show as we were watching him warm up, and he does have really nice touch. But with Mado's Lowe's foul trouble, they need some offense from somewhere, and he can provide it. Here's a highlight of the slam by Sears. As we showed in the pre-game highlights, you saw that exact same play, a steal at midcourt and a dunk.
Now they throw it in bounds. Took it there with the captain, Greg Kelly, making his first appearance. Mason for 3. So now Mason getting involved. Second field goal, he's got 5. It's 14-12 Columbia.
Well, you see Yale starting to heat up a little bit. They've knocked their last couple threes. They've got a steal. It's probably affecting their defense a little bit. They're a little more active.
Good look by Petrasic. They couldn't finish down low. And then following up his own miss was Caslin. Second field goal's got 4.
Well, you could argue that he got fouled twice, but the good thing for a freshman is just to stay with it, don't expect whistles, make the play, and that's what he did.
Aggressive defense right there by Kendall Jackson, the sophomore, wearing 14 for Columbia. Stepping back after the ball fake, missed the shot there, was Kelly. The rebound, Petrasic hands to Jackson.
Well, ducks were flying. He got him in the air and got rid of him, but he just couldn't get the ball in the hole.
32 is McComber. 2 is Isaac Cohen. 33, Petrasic. Shot clock winding down to 12 right now. 9.5 remaining in the first half. Petrasic, baseline right, short. Flying in for the rebound, Anthony Dallier.
See their awareness in transition defense. Not a lot of people going to the offensive glass.
No call. Score the basket from Matt Townsend, his first 2. The Rhodes Scholar.
Yeah, Kyle Smith was hoping to get a charge out of that, but once the guy goes to the floor and there's no whistle, it's a pretty easy layup.
Catch and shoot. Kendall Jackson trifecta.
Holy smokes, was he ready?
His 8th 3-ball of the year. Columbia by 5 with 8 minutes and 45 seconds to play in the first half. Oh, the good, tough lay-in by Javier Duran.
Well, that's a horns action, the double-on ball that they went over and shoot around, but they didn't cover it very good.
Duran's got 5. Up-tempo, both teams right now, Blaine.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of energy on defense. You're seeing a lot of energy up and down the floor. You're seeing guys really attacking one another. I think this is the layup here. They did a really nice job on that. Obviously, it wasn't the kind of defense. Columbia's played really good defense and then just has had some eye-catching breakdowns. But I think what you see here is these guys, they don't leave early for the NBA. They're here for 4 or 5 years.
Yep.
So they play against each other 7, 8, 9, 10 times in their career. And so you see guys that are really enthused about competing against one another. These guys played 3 times last year.
Let's see how Yale holds the floor right now. That was short there by Caslin. Got his own miss. Flipped it up. Going class. He's got 6.
Boy, he has exerted his will down around the basket there. He has not been able to draw a whistle. And the good news is he stayed with it both times to score.
He's a freshman who has now started all 17 games, getting 24 minutes a night. There's a beautiful move. Armani Cotton, his first 2 points, the senior from New York.
You know, you hear a lot about the other guys on Yale, and he's kind of the quiet guy, just in conversation. But he's very, very capable.
This has turned out to be a real good game right now. On the block, Ostakowski tried to feed it inside to the cutter in Kobe. Went out of bounds. 7:29 remaining in this electric first half. Ivy League basketball on the American Sports Network, and Columbia over Yale 21-18. Back with more right after this timeout. Stay with us.
The Ivy League means extraordinary, a conference that stands alone as the purest form of student athlete, a conference focused to compete nationally and created to inspire globally. It's 8 schools combining Division I athletic excellence and academic prestige, and a community of greatness that inspires lifelong connections and successful leaders of tomorrow. Why not be extraordinary? It's the Ivy League.
Well, you can tell you're in New York City. The Brooklyn Bridge, the bright lights and the skyline. We're here in Morningside Heights, New York City, Levy Gymnasium, and they've got quite the atmosphere in here in Blaine Taylor. It is pretty much sold out for Columbia and Yale, and what a game with Columbia on top by 3.
Well, these places in the Ivy just really kick into action come conference play. It's got such history. The schools really respect one another, but they want a piece of each other. There's some great shots all over this arena of people that have come here to enjoy a nice cold night in New York.
Going off the inbound, and Kesslin with the finish, game-high score. He's got 8.
Well, Yale has made 6 of their last 7 shots to get back into this thing, and they're still down 5. And it just shows you how intent Columbia is. A lot of different players contributing.
Levy Gymnasium on the campus of Columbia University. Carl Reuter, Blaine Taylor on the American Sports Network, and there was a nice tip at the rim. I believe it's Sears who's got it. He has 6.
Well, I think if you talk about the concern Columbia had on the glass, you're seeing it come through, and they've had some putbacks.
Off the heel, the miss by Jackson. Here's Cotton, gave it up and could not chase down. Was Mason, but deflected out of bounds by Columbia, and Yale will hold possession.
He came down and jumped up in the air, and that was, boy, when they say all dressed up and nowhere to go, you go down and jump in the air and there's no players ahead of you, that's a problem. And they were very, very fortunate to maintain possession.
The inbound by Cotton, the 6'7", 215-pound senior. Montague gave it up, number 4. Here's Mason.
He wants to face. They took it out of his hands.
Long 3, short. Couldn't save baseline. It wouldn't have mattered because the shot hit the baseline, and it gives it back to Columbia.
That was from a long ways away. That was from over at the Hudson River, I think.
Might have been from the Brooklyn Bridge. Here's Kendall Jackson.
Kyle Caston has played really well, and you look at Bo being in foul trouble, and he's really made up for it. Some other guys have pitched in, but he's been the story of them being ahead a little bit.
Well, Caston came in averaging 9.5. He's got 8 here in this first half. Speaking of Caston, gets it to Jackson, whip it around, long jumper, Kobe, rimmed out, scramble for the ball, picked up, rebound on a hop by Justin Sears.
See how physical it is there. Guys are getting wrapped up with each other and going to the floor.
Montague went to the low block. Sears with the move. Quadruple team, finds the outlet, gets it to Durant, off the mark. Off that weak side, getting fouled is Sears. He's going to go to the line to shoot 2.
There again, the boards. Now, if you look at just statistically the boards, it was 9-7 at the last break. I think it's zeroed out. It is about even. But the number of offensive rebounds, I think you're at about 6 right now. And Sears himself has had like 3 putbacks, got fouled, or tip-ins. So, you know, the boards are the story right now. They're not scoring first attempt as much as the second attempt.
65% free throw shooter on the season is Sears. Checking back in, Maldo Lowe, who's got the 2 personals. Castlin with a well-deserved rest, the freshman for Columbia.
Well, he's played straight through. You don't see very many guys play 14.5 minutes straight through. One of the things about Sears, when he gets it, boy, he gets up and gets rid of it when he's shooting free throw.
Rimmed out on the second shot. Isaac Cohen pulled the glass. Here's Jackson. Baseline move, and a beauty of a move at that in Kobe, who's got 4 points now.
I think that was a good no call. If anything, it would have been a foul on Sears. And when you're in a game like this, you want to be sure on those charged blocks. Maldo Lowe was out of the game for the whole first half, basically on a similar call.
Kobe played for the U.S. junior team at one time that competed in Russia 3 years ago.
Duran's starting to get it going a little bit. All right, now we've got a call on the drive there, and you know, as they're driving, there's contact, and it's anybody's guess They can't call them all, but they're going to call some of them. So it's anybody's guess, when that whistle's going to blow and who it's going to be. And this is a well-officiated game, but it always has an impact. What's called, what's not.
Mason, 11 subbed in for Duren, 20. Columbia, who led by as many as 9 early on, up by 2 over Yale.
And Coach Smith has been watching the scoreboard a little bit. Chose to go back with Lowe at this point, hoping to get a few minutes out of him without getting his third.
Sears right to the basket. 2 more on the board, and Columbia and Yale now tied at 25 with 4:20 remaining in the half.
Well, it's almost like Justin Sears realized that Aldo Lowe was guarding him and had 2 fouls.
There's a strong move, and getting fouled was Corey Ostkowski, who'll go to the line, shooting 53% on the season.
He had one more head fake than they had patience. Eyebrow, forehead. As he turned here, head fake, head fake, head fake. There they go. And when they come down and he's going up, that's an automatic whistle.
So the senior at 6'11", 270, missing the first. He's from Rancho Santa Fe, California, subbing in for Columbia. Noah Springwater in for Kendall Jackson. Springwater, number 21, is a 6'3" senior from San Francisco, California. 1 of 2, Ostkowski. He's got 5, another sub. Connor Voss, 52. He checks in for Columbia, 7'1", 250 soft. St. Cloud, Minnesota, subbing in for Corey Ostkowski.
A lot of that's very strategic. You got a 4-minute media timeout coming, so some of these guys are getting a few minutes to kind of help the rhythm and the esprit de corps with the team, and get some guys to blow, protect fouls, all that stuff.
1 point Columbia lead, deflected but recovered by Mason. Sears to the corner, open look, knocking it down. Jack Montague, 3 ball.
Montague is a guy in shoot-around that they were really focusing on never leaving him, never leaving him, never leaving him, and every time they've left him this half, he has knocked a 3 when he's had a chance.
You can't leave him alone. That was his 44th triple, number 1 on the team, but more importantly, he shoots 44% from the arc. That's tops in the Ivy League.
That's national, that's Ivy, that's everything. That's an unbelievable percentage. You're talking about guys in the NBA that make a lot of money when they can shoot those kind of percentages.
Cohen baseline, reverse.
Wow, that was crafty.
His first 2.
A little herk and jerk and a finish on the second side. Used the rim and the net to protect his shot from the big boys. And they needed it. They need every bit of what's going on to be tied in this game.
Tied at 28. Cohen is the junior from Orlando, Florida. Like to be down there right now. That's 3 shots. Going to the line will be Montague. Timeout on the floor. When we come back, Montague to the line, tied at 28. We're back right after this.
Celebrate the soggy shoes and the slow starts. Celebrate the lessons learned along the way. These are the wins. Not the shiny, nail-biting kind. These are the last a lifetime kind.
Oh, look, a redhead.
Staring contest.
You still got it.
I know. Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
They were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
Tomorrow on the American Sports Network, it's a Conference USA battle. Marshall Thundering Herd taking on Louisiana Tech, 5:30 Eastern Standard Time, only on ASN. Your team, your passion, your network, the American Sports Network. Carl Reuter, Blaine Taylor, the entire ASN crew back here, Morningside Heights, New York City, campus of Columbia University. What a game in the Ivy League. Yale-Columbia tied at 28, going to the line. Jack Montague, he will shoot 3. You can't wear a Wagner t-shirt in here when you're at an Ivy League game, can you?
You pay twice as much to get in.
Hey, he's a Wagner Seahawks fan. Come on, we'll catch him.
That's loyalty.
There you go.
The score being tied here, these guys played 3 times last year. They played in the CIT, and the game went right to the wire, last seconds to determine a winner. And I think we're probably going to see one of those where this thing goes down to the wire too. But if you look at the shooting percentages, Columbia's got to be shaking their head. They're shooting 63% and they're behind right now. But they've turned it over 6-2 and they've given up 6 offensive rebounds. Those are the 2 things that have hurt them.
70% coming in from the line. Montague makes 2 of 3. He's got 5. Yale by 2, down to the final 2:40 remaining in this first half. Connor Voss, his first touch. To his left, the big guy, kick out. Here's Kobe with the drive. And Cotton with the rebound. Montague gave it up. Nice overplay defensively by Voss to knock it out of bounds.
You got a pretty veteran officiating crew on Friday nights. There's not a lot of games going on around the country, so your supply and demand of officials is good. And so you've got guys that are pretty wary with their whistle. You got kids jumping in, trying to maybe get a whistle on a drive, and the whistle's not blowing very much. And that's probably the right thing, that kids should earn their plays, not hope to be given gifts.
And that trio again is Gary Prager, Kenneth Clark, John Gill, working the floor tonight at Columbia University. Packed house here. Friday night, Ivy League hoops on the American Sports Network. Spinning in traffic and then releasing, and it drops is Justin Sears.
That made me dizzy watching that move. He went right, left. It was a military move.
Largest lead for Yale, who was stuck 9 in the early minutes, now up by 4. The runner, and it was blocked by Makai Mason as Maudu Lowe went to the basket.
I think Montague wanted to take credit for that. I think that might have, I don't think he has a lot of block shots in his career. He's not the tallest dude, but I really it was Mason.
The 6-foot Montague out of Brentwood, Tennessee. That's the 3rd Brentwood I know. Brentwood, California, Brentwood, Tennessee, Brentwood, Long Island.
Well, you start using your GPS, you start finding out all sorts of cities.
Well, Brentwood, Long Island, Mitch Kupchak came out of there. And the foul! Score it!
I think if you look at this, you're going to see how deep he was. He came up to the charge. In the old days, that may have been a charge.
Now they're saying
what?
No basket. No basket.
Well, as you watch the replay,
that's Gary Prager right there on the right, John Gill on the left. Now Gary Prager will speak with Kyle Smith, head coach, Columbia.
Okay, here we come on the drive. We step up, and we're in the arced area. So it's clearly in the arced area, and I'm not sure what they've called, because in the arced area.
Okay, guys, you all set?
Go ahead, Gary.
Okay, I thought that the ball went in. It was my error. It did not. There's no basket on. It's restricted area, blocking foul, 2 shots, okay?
There you go. You heard it right from Gary Prager. Came right over to Blaine and myself. His fault, he said. His fault. 2 shots on the blocking foul.
Well, I didn't think it went in. I didn't know if somebody got caught in the net or not.
Well, it looked like it might have been interference. Looked like it could have been goaltending on Yale.
That's what I thought was the goaltending or the basket interference. But it was, as we said, in the restricted area. And when he came over and explained it, he says he was in the restricted area. My bad. I thought it went in. They got it right, and they got it figured out pretty quickly. We didn't have to take a 5-minute commercial with us under the hood. We're looking at it with them.
That was the first miss from the foul line this year by Frankowski, who's now 10 for 11.
He's a steady performer. He needs other scorers with him because he's really good at setting them up.
Oh, Sears is feeling it right now.
He's been on a tear, and when he is at his best, I don't know if there's a better player in the league. There are some really good bigs in the league. That the Ivy is enjoying a good year with bigs. You know, kids that have had some experience and some size. But he's an awfully fine player.
I'll tell you right now, he could score, but he also plays defense. He averages, and we're talking about Justin Sears, almost 8 rebounds a game, but he's third all-time for Yale in block shots, playing both ends of the floor.
Well, he's all over the place, and you know, you hardly watch a play on either end, mid-court, that you don't see him impacting things. As you look at some of his statistics here, and these are season stats, and so you see how solid he's been over time. The game that he had against UConn, where he had 12 points, 15 rebounds, when they beat UConn at UConn's home court. Sometimes you see wins where you beat them on your court. You beat them on a neutral court. You beat them at the Paradise Jam in the Virgin Islands, but they beat him at UConn. And, you know, he had a double-double performance against as good as a bunch as you'll find around the defending national champs.
Second of 2 was missed. The personal was on Matt Townsend. He picked up his first 4-point game inside 1 minute remaining here at the Levy Gymnasium, campus of Columbia University, New York City. All the action right here on ASN, the American Sports Network. Shovel pass, 15 to shoot. Shoveled right back, and Sears nearly was going to the line to complete a 3-point play, but he'll get 2 shots.
Well, he had a chance at and one. If you look at the last 2 plays by Columbia at the other end, they had and one opportunities. Of course, we had the charge block where we had to go back and correct it, but in both cases, they didn't get the basket and they missed the free throws. Now, here at this end, he had a chance at an and one, and he's missed the front end. Opportunities knocking and nobody's answering the door. Trick-or-treaters aren't getting answered at Halloween tonight.
1 of 3 from the line in this contest for Sears. Knocks down the second of 2. Again, a junior from Plainfield, New Jersey. Right down the block from us, pretty much.
Yeah, Kyle Smith got low in there for a while, but you can see the impact that having him out of the game with the 2 fouls had on the first half. And he lost his rhythm and wasn't really able to have an impact on a short stint.
See the differential shot clock, game clock, about 3 seconds. It's now down to 10 to shoot. Making his move. Crossover, and a beauty by Isaac Cohen. Second field goal for 4, and a timeout called with 4.6 by Yale in a 3-point game in favor of the Bulldogs.
That was textbook clock management. You know, they had a clock differential, so he went to the end of the shot clock, got the flyer with the left hand to drop, and the officials, I think, are checking the time remaining to make sure that 4.6 is accurate. I think it's pretty close. Having a stopwatch here, you look at what's going on, they're pretty close, but I think what you're looking at with the timeout, you've got the use it or lose it timeout. So James Jones is probably wanting to advance the ball down the court. When the ball is in the air coming down the court, in this circumstance, the clock doesn't start. So he'll have a full nearly 5 seconds to try to get a shot.
Well, there you see coming up at the half, Ashley Bullington and Mark Adams from ASN Studios. And, of course, we'll have highlights and stats.
He countered the on-ball screen, flies in, uses the left hand. Real nice finish. And I think 4.6 is pretty close.
Well, Gary Prager is looking at the monitor to just make sure the time remaining in this first half in a 3-point game. Let's see.
See, what they're looking at is not when the ball goes in. It's not like the end of the game.
When was the timeout called?
Well, at the end of the game, when that ball goes through, the clock stops, right? But at the end of the first half, that's why there's confusion right now. At the end of the first half, it depends when they acknowledge the timeout. Because, see, you look at the official that was right in front of James Jones, they might give him a little more time if they acknowledge when he tried to call it, but when they actually did blow the whistle, it was closer to 4.6.
Gary Prager looked at the official scorer's table and said 4.6 is where it's going to be. And there is Gary Prager, the take charge official. Spoke to him before the game. He's got a busy weekend. He's got a Seton Hall game tomorrow. And then he's got a little trip up to Niagara on Sunday.
That'll keep that whistle, that pee in that whistle wet.
He's a local guy from the metropolitan area, Gary Prager, one of the better guys and better officials. Trying to beat the clock, counts if it goes.
Had a
and
chance.
It falls short. Yeah, Makai Mason with an opportunity. Excellent first half of basketball between Yale and Columbia. Yale early on was down by 9, but now up by 3. At the break, Yale 35, Columbia 32. Halftime activities right after this on the American Sports Network.
Oh!
Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary.
Ah, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Get caught buzz driving, and you could do some hard time.
Craig, knock it off.
Sorry, Mom. It could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And that could set you back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
That's your score in the Big Apple. Yale has come to play Columbia in an Ivy League matchup tonight. Welcome to halftime at the ASN studio. I'm Ashley Bullington. The Ivy League has been getting recognition this season. Harvard starting off the season in the top 25, Yale beating UConn with a buzzer beater, and Columbia's effort in a 10-point loss to Kentucky added to the attention. Another factor that stands out for the Ivy League, though, is their long-standing history, especially between Columbia and Yale. Tonight's game is the 228th meeting between these two teams. Their first game on record dates back to 1901, 114 years ago. Columbia won that game 19-14, and since then leads the series 124-103. There's not another team in Columbia's basketball history that the Lions have played more times than the Yale Bulldogs.
Shoots the three and buries it.
Great conference competition going on in the Ivy League, and we have even more basketball games coming up this weekend on ASN. Saturday, we have a full day of basketball on ASN. Starting at 3, Valparaiso goes to Chicago to take on UIC. The Crusaders have been hot this season, receiving votes in the AP and coaches polls. We go to Ruston, Louisiana next, a 5:30 tip-off for the Thundering Herd and the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. Then there's another Conference USA game coming up for you. Rice goes from Houston to Denton to play in UNT's Super Pit. Also at 8, out in Hempstead, New York, Townsend takes on Hofstra in the CAA. Check your local listings for the game in your area. Our last game on Saturday is in Orem, Utah. UMKC takes on Utah Valley, the reigning regular season WAC champions. For a full schedule of games coming up on ASN, go to our website, americansportsnet.com. If you can't make it to the game, you can get live updates by following our Facebook and Twitter accounts. Our handle's live on ASN. Coming up, it's Mark Enthusi Adams, our ASN basketball expert, with national topics from our ASN conferences.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but things changed. Teaching didn't seem that cool anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Amazing things are happening in teaching, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
This is the moment I knew. His future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
So who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
Hi, college basketball fans. I'm Mark Adams, the primary national college basketball analyst on the American Sports Network. Let's talk about some of the great performances around our 10 partner conferences and start with the A10. How about Marcus Posley of St. Bonaventure? Averaged nearly 30 points a game and shot 62% from three. He dropped 36 on the Dukes of Duquesne. GW had a good week, shot 52% from the floor, 47 from three, and averaged 15 assists per game. That is good distribution in wins over Duquesne and Fordham. Let's head to the Big South, where Charleston Southern's Saw Nimley has been the hottest player in the country. He went for a career-high 37 points in the win over Gardner-Webb, 93-80. He's the only player in the country this season to put back-to-back-to-back-to-back 30-point efforts. Man, that's pretty good for Saw Nimley. High Point, they're off to their best start in conference history at 6-2. The Colonial Athletic Association, Damian Lee, he's the top scorer across the ASN Network Nation. Drexel, 24 points per game, 6 rebounds. He shot the ball extremely well, 95% from the free throw line last week, going 20 for 21. Man, is that great. For UNC Wilmington, they are off to a 6-2 start. They're tied for first. They won their last 3 games, but all of them have been close. 3 wins by a total of 11 points. In Conference USA, George Fant was a monster last week for the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. He averaged 15 points a game, 12 rebounds a game. He's on a roll of 8 straight double-doubles. That kid is big, strong, tough. I love George Fant. For Marshall, they snapped a 15-game losing streak by knocking off a tough UTEP Miners, 78-71. UTEP goes down. Justin Edmonds with a career-high 20 points. He was 5 for 9 from 3. In the Horizon League, Cleveland State, they're 6-1 in the Horizon League. They knocked off Detroit 70-66. In that game, Trey Lewis went for 30. He shot 46% from behind the arc. And Anton Grady went for a double-double. He had 15 points, 14 rebounds, and also added 4 shot blocks in that game. In the Ivy, Dartmouth, a huge win over Harvard, 70-61. That snapped an 11-game losing streak to Harvard. Alex Matola went for 18 points in that game. He's now made 24 consecutive free throws. In the OVC, Reese Chamberlain of Belmont. He's the only player in the country to average over 6 assists and over 6 rebounds per game. Man, is he special. Evan Brads of Belmont went for 22 points. He was 18 for 19, shot 95% from the floor in the win over Austin Peay and Tennessee Martin. In the Patriot League, Chris Haas from Bucknell, 27 points a game. His numbers have been stellar, especially from behind the arc. That's where he loves to roam. He knocked down 71% of his shots from long range, 10 for 14 last week. Bucknell. How about Bucknell? With wins over BU and Loyola. They've also shot the three ball well as a team at 54% last week. In the Southern Conference, Michael Bradley from Samford. He averaged a double-double. That's pretty doggone good. Samford shot 51% last week. They shot 89% from the free throw line as a team. That's good enough for wins over Western Carolina and UNC Greensboro. In the WAC, Pascal Siakam of New Mexico State, one of the hottest teams right now. They opened up the season a little bit slow with all the injuries, but Siakam leading the way. They knocked off Grand Canyon and Utah Valley. UMKC, that team is starting to distribute the ball extremely well. They assist well. They're making the three ball. They knocked off Bakersfield 66-63 and Seattle. That was a big win, 75-55. Those are the news and notes across the American Sports Network and our partner conferences.
This is not about baseball. It's dedication. It's commitment. It's about developing a mindset in our youth. A mindset that transforms into true character. Disadvantaged, distressed, new fields envisioned as new opportunities. Instructors teaching life. Lessons learned. This is not about baseball.
Well, after trailing by 9 early on, Yale with a good second half of that first half, now lead at 35-32. Courtside, Carl Reuter, Blaine Taylor. We saw outstanding play, a hot night in the Ivy League on a Friday night, and Justin Sears and Kyle Caslin really got it done for the respective schools.
You got two postseason teams here, and they're going to have good players. It's really nice moves out of Sears. You saw with the twist and turner in the lane. He can shoot the jumper. He's just done it a variety of ways. This here you've got a breakaway. They get some defense in the midcourt area. He's 6 for 8 at halftime. Now, if you turn the other direction with Maudulot's foul trouble, Kyle Caslin really picked it up. He got 8 points at half. Him and Corey Osikowski, thank God for them. All of a sudden, it keeps them in contact with the game. And he's had to finish strong. You see some of the contact he's had to take to finish. So those guys have kept it close. Now what's going to happen in the second half?
Sears is 14, game-high score. Caslin leading the way for Columbia with 8, 35-32 in favor of Yale. We're at the break. When we come back, we'll have the start of the second half. All of that about to unfold next on the American Sports Network from the Levy Gymnasium on the campus of Columbia University, New York City.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. That single ember can ignite and destroy your home or even your community. You can't control where that ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
get your ass. You're not in here.
Yes, I am.
Move. Give it to him hard.
No.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Why you stab me with it? No.
They want to help,
Ow.
but don't know how.
Oh, you got...
Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and frustration a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Part of the big crowd here at Columbia University. Yale on top 35-32. Look at the halftime numbers. And I know one of the things that you looked at, bottom left, Yale, Blaine Taylor, your former coach, won almost 400 games, Division I, only 2 TOs there.
Yeah, they've really taken care of the ball and then flipped that the other way. What have they done with the other team's turnovers? Those 6 turnovers have turned into 9 points. So if you look at pretty good shooting percentages on the part of the Lions, the foul trouble by Molowato kind of offsetting itself, but they're behind, and it's because of those turnovers and their ability to take care of the ball. And a lot of Justin Sears.
Oh, a lot of Justin Sears, 14 points in the first half to lead the way. That's more than his average coming in at 13.7. That one was knocked away. He'll go to the line. And the foul was on Columbia's Jeff Kobe, the sophomore out of Florida.
Well, they're operating him in that high post area over and over and over. And it's giving him a lot of latitude to be creative. And when he puts the ball on the deck, he twists and turns, and he gets the defenders in some odd spots, and they want to go for the ball. They want to do the right thing. And the result, he gets to the line.
Now 3 of 5 from the line in the first half.
You know, for 2 such good shooting teams, Carl, they were 7 for 13 between the 2 of them at the free throw line at halftime, which is kind of eye-opening for somebody that is good shooting, just standing as both these bunches are.
So Justin Sears has scored his 1,000th career point against Sacred Heart, now with 16. Largest lead right now for Yale by 5. First 30 seconds, half number 2. Whistle. And it's on Columbia. I think a little bit of a reach-in by Corey Osadkowski.
Well, what you're looking at here is Motto Low is so valuable to them. Those are really steady numbers, and he's got really good percentages, and he's been a non-factor in this game. The first half, they were able to hang with Kyle Caston and Corey Osadkowski, scoring 14 points between them to offset Sears. But they're going to need something from Lowe before this game's over.
Yeah, early in that first half, Lowe knocked down his only field goal was a 3-ball, but after that got into foul trouble. Nice lean away. Did not draw the contact and able to drop it with Cotton's second field goal. He's got 4.
And a senior, and as we suggested in the first half, a really talented performer. He just gets overshadowed by the likes of some of the other guys.
There's a strip. Cohen lost it on the baseline. Yale is pushing. The no-look was recovered by Duran, and he still has it. Stop and pop from the elbow and knocks it down. He's got 9 and a run by Yale to start this second half. 6 in a row.
That ball was everywhere. I mean, he had it, he didn't have it, they had it, he didn't have it, they had it, they got it, he's got it. Wait a second, I got it. Pretty soon, I got it in the hole.
He knocks it down, does Duran. And again, if you're just tuning in, the importance of the regular season in the Ivy League, the only conference in Division I basketball that does not have a postseason tournament. So the regular season champ gets the automatic bid to the NCAAs. Yale has already started this year at 2-0 and are looking to go 3-0 in league play right now for the first time in 14 years. Here is around the Ivy League, and you see Harvard and Princeton, the final. Cornell, 8 better than Brown. And how about Penn over Dartmouth, 58-51.
Well, every game is magnified, and so the importance is huge. It's almost like you've got a game and it's your conference tournament. It's a game in your conference tournament. And both these teams we're looking at here were in postseason play. You look at two perennial powers in the league, Princeton and Harvard facing off. That one goes to the wire. So on Friday, Saturday nights across the Ivy, you're really getting exposed to some good entertainment. And you look at the crowd here. There was this packed crowd here. The bathroom was packed. The concession stand was packed. We're packed here at Columbia.
They're packed. In fact, Yale stays on the road right after this 4.5-hour bus ride to play at Cornell tomorrow. This is an important stretch for Columbia because they're home tomorrow night for Brown. It's the third of 5 in a row at home. Home cooking, they need to get it done to stay close to the top in that Ivy. Again, the emphasis of winning the regular season championship because there is no postseason tournament.
Yeah, no question, Carl. They won 14 home games last year.
Woo! There's a big three.
Loloato, they needed that. They won 14 home games last year, and he has been a big part of this program. Their postseason run last year. They need him to be a part of things. Now Yale, comes in first place. This would be a huge win for them if they can hang on to this.
He's got 6 now, does Lowe. Shot went window. It was off the mark by Duran, and on the rebound, a foul committed by Yale, giving it back. There's again Kyle Smith, graduated from Hamilton College back in 1992.
Well, you look at the timeout that Kyle Smith called. They came out and Luato Lowe gets the three-pointer. They get the stop and the foul. They got the ball back. What a timely timeout.
Big possession here for Columbia. Off the crossover there was Cohen. Gave it up to Kaslan. Here's Lowe. 10 to shoot for the Lions, down by 6. Now 8 to shoot, baseline. Kick out, Kobe puts it on the deck.
I'd like to say that was a finger roll, but it was about from 12 feet.
Be a long finger roll, but it still goes down. He's got 6.
You'd have to garden hose for an arm to shoot a finger roll from that far.
5 straight for Columbia to close to within 4. And a defense from the crowd here at the Levian Gymnasium. Morningside Heights, New York City, the campus of Columbia University. Ivy League basketball on the American Sports Network.
You can track it all on the timeout, and you can see what has happened. Now, the offensive boards that we pointed out at halftime, you had the turnover differential, but the offensive boards, that's their 7th offensive board opportunity. They had 6 at half. That's been a big difference that Yale has put some pressure on them on the glass.
Trigger the inbound off the spin is Cotton. He's got 6.
He's just a wild card. He's just kind of a silent assassin.
Yeah, he's a silent assassin who served as a constituent liaison to Hillary Clinton.
Oh, boy.
That's some pretty big company.
You know, I wasn't on that list.
No, I wasn't either, and I don't think I'll make it that list either.
Good for him. I mean, some of the experiences some of these kids have.
It's incredible.
It's you look at like Matt Townsend,
the
Rhodes Scholar, and he's also just been nominated for the top 30 guys in the senior class in what is called CLASS, and which indicates community service classroom competition. And I was looking at his major, and it's molecular, cellular, and developmental biology. I'm like, I can't even. Yeah. That was a lot of vowels by Vanner White, but I'll tell you what, he's. They got some students here, and it's something to be really proud of.
Basically, all of Townsend's family played sports at Harvard, and he came to Yale. Oh, good hand in the passing lane. And the thievery by Sears to get Yale the possession.
I don't think, him and Richard Sherman are probably the only 2 guys I know that could have stole that.
See what he can do here now. Get involved offensively. Almost 4 minutes gone by in this second half. Off the mark there, missing was Townsend. White shirts on the window. Isaac Cohen pushing, nice pass. Didn't really get control of it, was Caslin. And now the Bulldogs from Yale push it back up to the floor.
But they barricaded that play good. They pushed him right in behind the glass. That was a nice rebound and fast break with no result.
Here's Mackay Mason, who slows it down just a wee bit for Yale. Up by 6, second half. Catch, shoot, rimmed out. Montague, last touch by Yale, and the Yale bench is up. Questioning the call, led by the head coach, James Jones. But timeout on the floor, Yale by 6. We're back on the American Sports Network after this.
The next 30 seconds can save you a lot of money. Just do your laundry in cold and stick to full loads. Auto-sleep your computers. Plug your gadgets in a power strip and switch it off when you're done. Headed out? Turn back your thermostat by 10 degrees. And drive sensibly. The more energy you save, the more money you save. Find other great tips at energysaver.gov.
Hey fans, more basketball tomorrow on the American Sports Network. Rice travels to North Texas for Conference UA basketball. It's all beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's only on ASN. Your teams, your passion, your network, the American Sports Network. Our Star Watch update, Justin Sears and Maudo Lowe. He's got 6, 2 triples. Early foul trouble has really restricted him in the first half, but seems to get on track here. Maybe he can bring this Columbia Lions team back.
Well, Justin Sears came in on a tear, and he has stayed on that tear, and Maudo Lowe has been trying to have a breakout performance. Foul trouble hampered him. Plenty of time left in this game for him to get something going.
That was a strong baseline move by Corey Osikowski. Substitution coming in. Greg Kelly, number 32 for the Yale Bulldogs. He replaces the Rhodes Scholar in Matt Townsend.
I feel smarter. He just went by me. Osmosis.
You know what? Maybe he can drive you back to the hotel and you feed off of him a little bit.
That's right. I'd sit on his lap. That's cool seeing that.
Yeah, that really is. Kyle Smith trying to get his team back in here. One of 32 in the country, Rhodes Scholar, sitting 10 feet to our left.
Maybe he'll hire us one day.
Hope he's still around.
Yeah, if we live that long.
Really? Petrasek is off the mark. The weak side rebound, though.
He's solo down there.
There he is. Osikowski. Oh, the flying tip wouldn't go for Cohen, and here comes Yale.
You get the feeling if they could just get a little momentum, the crowd would get going.
Baseline, it was knocked out of bounds, and Yale will hold on. 24 on the shot clock.
It's kind of a pivotal point in the game here where Yale can maybe grab this game, and yet you just kind of feel everybody in this gym hungering for Columbia to kind of make a little bit of a move. What's going to happen? Kind of a tipping point here. Let's go.
Again, we have a whistle. White 23 means that's Corey Osetkowski picking up the personal.
Yeah, and he's going to catch move over to the bench there with the fouls.
That's his third. He's replaced by Chris McComber.
He's trying to take Justin Sears out of a cut to the basket. They've run a little cross screen action, little diagonal cross screen in the paint there, and they've been very wary of trying to not let Justin get that touch.
Isaac Cohen will sit down, number 2 for Columbia.
Now, can Frankowski give him a little bit of a pump? And Protasic had a shot from 3 here a minute ago. There's that interior touch.
And whistle down, and the man who just checked in, Steve Frankowski, picks up the personal foul. So
they're sneaking up on that one-on-one here.
That's
so
his third on him.
Well, that would have been a big play for Columbia. Frankowski knocks it loose and they're off to the races.
Yeah, Columbia now with 5 team fouls. Yale has 4. Nice shovel knocked from behind, but Sears got hit. He'll go to the line for 2 shots.
Jack Montague, they've got really good guard play. You look at only 2 turnovers, and you see Jack Montague on the drive here. He avoids the charge block with the slide and gets the ball to the hottest guy in the gym, Justin Sears. And it's really mind-boggling to look down at this stat sheet and see only 2 turnovers. So you've got a lot of different guys that handle the ball, but these 2 guards have done a really nice job of taking care of it.
Sears now 4 of 7 from the charity stripe in this contest, but still with a game high 16 points.
Cal Mason doesn't get a lot of pub, but he's the other guard that just kind of stirs things up, makes the next pass, makes the next screen, makes the next cut.
Yale by 7, 14:20 remaining in this second half. Spinning with the dribble with Caslin, gave it up. Takes the return up high, tries to get the screen from Petrasic. 15 to shoot. Petrasic, left baseline, nowhere to go, kick out. Here's Lowe. Pull up, bang, long 2.
Like you could just feel it in the gym. Everybody just kind of going, come on, Mo, come on, Mo, come on, Mo. And finally they didn't have anything, and Mo went and he went and go.
He's got 3 field goals for 8, including the 2 3-pointers. 5-point game, go down low. Got a hold there, trying to ward off and hold Sears back. It's on number 32, Chris McComber.
That time Sears took off before anybody could get a double on him, before the defense could even adjust, and all of a sudden we're up to the 1-on-1. And with 13:38 to go in the game, that's a long time to be in the 1-on-1. So some of these fouls that they've drawn have been pretty big. In a game that really didn't have a lot of whistles the first half, we've had a lot of whistles at the start of the second half.
Now it's been established with shooting 1-and-1. So that's 17 fouls on Columbia. Yale with 4, but as you pointed out, Blaine, 13:38. They're only a couple of fouls away from shooting a double bonus the rest of the way.
Well, when you're a road team and you're shooting 1-on-1 like that, you just kind of pinch yourself. I mean, I got to be dreaming. And yet they're smart enough in their actions and in their attack. And then when you get offensive rebounds, you're going to have that kind of stuff.
Missed the back end of the 1-and-1. Yale, pretty good free throw shooting team. 72% on the season.
They have been, when they get in position to win a game, they can win it at the line.
Contact, no basket. They'll call it on the floor on the drive by Luke Petrasic.
Here's the replay, and I think he paused in the air to shoot. Let's take a look at it. He's on the drive. He gets hit. He's going up. I would argue that should count, but that would have been a big and 1 instead of a out of bounds.
That's a big rebound by Petrasic off the 3-ball miss by Frankowski. Don't give him that room. He's dynamite from there. Oh, got hit! Made the 3, but Columbia wants the foul. That's a 3 for Lowe. He's got 11.
Look at the resilience. They didn't get the call. They missed. They got the rebound. Then they get Lowe going a little bit with another one. So that's 4 3-pointers for Lowe.
Contact, no call. Tip is good by Sears. He's got 20.
We keep talking about boards and offensive boards, and we keep talking about Sears, and they got all 3 of them there. Got the trifecta.
20 on the shot clock.
Sears is causing a lot of problems with his pressure up in the high post area where a lot of these offenses in this league are run.
10 to shoot, long three. Lowe, he's heating it up. Lowe from downtown again, has 14.
5 for 5 from 3. We were saying he needed to break out, and he's starting to break out. And look at Columbia juice it up a little bit.
Knocked away, down low. Sears has 22.
Well, Sears has had an answer for him, and his teammates are finding him. It's back and forth.
Sears a season high, 23. First game of the season against Quinnipiac. 4-point game.
You see Sears is really active out top there.
Oh, nice move by Lowe off the crossover. Kick out, Petrasic. Off the mark there. Missed by Frankowski, and here comes Yale. Oh, the action is heating up here. Mason dribble drive, lays it off for Sears.
Multiple drivers end up with an easier shot. And at the other end, you had the makings of a possession that had something that ends up empty. They score a big swing in the game. They had a chance to get within a basket.
9 minutes off the clock here on the American Sports Network, Columbia University. 10:55 to play, second half.
As you sense, we get to the 12-minute timeout. We're already at 10:50. These kids are starting to get a little bit winded. And it's just what's going to happen before we get to that timeout.
Off the hesitation, rejected there by Sears on the left-handed shot by Caslin. Third all-time leading shot blocker Yale history in Justin Sears.
Well, he gets off the floor quick. He's got real long arms. He's got an angular, lighter body, about 205 pounds, 6'7", 6'8".
That was his 47th block of the season. Knocked away there by Caslin, the freshman.
He's 6'4". He rose up there. He looked like a Justin Sears mini-me.
Lowe lost it. 2 minutes beyond the media timeout. Knocked out of bounds, and now we'll get the media timeout with 10:03 remaining in the contest. Fast-paced. Get back with more on ASN right after this.
Welcome back, Melba Wilson of Melba's Restaurant as tonight's game sponsor for a third year in a row. Melba's Restaurant is a premier American comfort food restaurant in New York City, located at Frederick Douglass Boulevard at 114th Street. Associate Athletics Director Barry Newberger is now presenting Jonathan Ryan and Jeremy Valentine with a special Lions store gift package at Center Court. Thank you for being tonight's game sponsor.
Kyle Smith, the head coach of Columbia, in the Lions huddle. The Lions down by 6, due in part because of the play by the Bulldogs of Yale's Justin Sears, who has been on fire in this contest. Sears has 24 points so far. Can they draw up perhaps another 3 as you look at what Sears has done in this game? Excellent shooting. He's playing both ends of the floor, Blaine.
He's doing a little bit of everything. He's having a career night in scoring, obviously, but 75% from the floor field goal percentage. But he's boarding the ball, offensive boards. He's causing fouls. He's affecting the game with his block shots. He's fast men to end. And then something you don't even see on these stats is a lot of the action on the other end for Columbia in that high post area. He is showing on ball screens. He's deterring drives. And then when they go to the basket, they're looking around and have a little bit of cold feet trying to see where Sears is when they shoot the ball.
That's Gary Prager on the left, Kenneth Clark on the right. Let's see what they could be looking at here.
I think many times what they're trying to do is get just a real accurate time. Sometimes the clock is running, sometimes it's not running, and they got to go back and kind of guesstimate exactly where it's at and be as accurate as possible.
So that was the tip in by Sears a moment ago.
Yeah, but I think there we're focusing on the clock. That is a prior play, and what they're looking at now is some of the recent action, trying to make sure that there wasn't a second or two here or there that got missed.
Blaine, while they try to figure that all out, and we're talking about the offensive explosion by Justin Sears and all that, how about the way that Yale has cherished the basketball, and the number has stood, there's Gary Prager, the number has stood since halftime. Only 2 turnovers for Yale in this contest.
Well, we get delivered stats intermittently throughout the game, and so all the numbers keep changing, and you and I keep looking down.
Same number.
2, 2, 2, 2, 2, which is a real credit to their team because everybody's touching the ball, but it means good guard play and decision making too.
That one was a little bit off the mark. Missed there by Javier Duran. So a chance for Columbia to cut into a 6-point Yale lead with 9:45 left in the second half. Columbia, quick start in the first half, led 11-2 early minutes. Yale got on track, and now Yale on top by 6 with 9.5 remaining. 8 to shoot, the low dribble, drive baseline, tough pass to Hall in. Jump ball, possession arrow, we'll have to check. It is Columbia's ball.
Kyle Smith tried really hard to get a timeout.
Oh, didn't he?
But I'm not sure if the official thought they had clear possession, so he didn't acknowledge the timeout and went with the jump ball. And they still have possession. Now that play, Mulatto got in awfully deep, but wasn't able to get a shot up because it was a student body right meeting him.
Only 3 seconds to shoot. Off the inbound, stolen away. And here come the Bulldogs from Yale. The explosion left his feet. And they're going to call a blocking foul.
Well, he's real crafty going to that left hand. And so, even though Luke Protasek was in very good position, he slides to his hip. So right here, he's there. But he slides to his hip just enough to give the official, is he there, is he not there? And I don't know what you do if you're the defender trying to be in position because he froze. You can move, but at the point he engages you, you freeze. And so that's one of the most frustrating calls for people to observe.
Missed the front end of the 1-and-1. First foul on the traffic. He missed 5 weeks because of Mono trying to get his way back, and another 3 by Lowe.
He is single-handedly keeping them in this game. Right now they're struggling so much to score, and he just keeps backing up a step, backing up a step, backing up a step, and putting it in the hole.
He's 5 for 5 from New York. He's got 17. It's a 3-point game. And the foul. Score it for Duran.
He puts a lot of pressure on you with his body. He's very good at when he gets to his position of leaving the ground, he knows where you're at, and he creates contact, gives himself a chance to freeze you as a shot blocker, and then gives a chance for the whistle to blow.
Look at those numbers.
Well, Mulatto Lowe, as we said, they need him to have a breakout game, and they've needed every bit of him just to stay within contact. Yale has an awful lot of firepower, and he's their firepower.
Well, he's feeling it through the double. Rankowski to the block it goes. Osikowski, triple. Cohen, 15th to shoot. Petrasek ball fake. In the paint, went deep.
He's solo down there, and he's got to make some hay.
Oh, pass picked off. Javier Duran off the hesitation runner. Rebound, Dollier, and a foul.
just can't get that rebound and go. And down there, Osikowski is getting the ball, and he's being guarded so low. Start of the game, he had the real nice jump hook he put in the in the hole, but down there he's been reluctant to score, and they're not having to help. So he needs to try to take the ball to the basket, and he's reluctant to. The rebounds down here, are really the story. These second shots and the foul count, some of that stuff just keeps Yale marching towards what would be a huge road win and would put them in first place early in this race.
Shooting the double bonus came in, Dahlia, 8 for 10 from the line, missed the first, missed the second. Rebound offensively, Townsend had it stripped. In traffic, Sears would not fall. The scramble, and here's Lowe, backpedals, and now crossing the timeline.
They had more chances than Elizabeth Taylor had husbands.
How many was that?
8, 7, 8, something like that. My aunt.
20 to shoot, 5-point game.
See how active Justin Sears is in the top area there.
Here's
8
Isaac
seconds.
Cohen. Yep. Cohen looking for room. 3 to shoot. The up and under. Oh, offensive pull by Kobe. Too strong. Tipped up, no good. Oh, Mason came down with it. Collision with Kobe. Timeout on the floor. We'll straighten it out when we come back. 7:25 left. Yale by 5 on ASN.
It's 3 p.m. For 50 million kids across America, school's out. And for a third of these kids, they're out on their own. Out with nowhere to go and nothing to do. But every afternoon is a chance to change America's future. All you have to do is open the door. It's time to support the Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does. And like that, you're a job creator.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
They don't really travel that fast in the New York City area, but it is a fast-moving game, so why not speed up the traffic here in New York City? Morningside Heights, the campus of Columbia University on the American Sports Network. Carl Reuter, Blaine Taylor, hope you're enjoying the action. Let me correct myself. I thought Sears' season high was 23 in the opening game of the year. It was the last game. He had 27 against Brown, and right now he's got 24, Blaine.
Well, as we said, coming in, he was the reigning player of the week, and he had 27 against Brown. They had to come from behind. He had 19 in the second half of that game. So he's really been on fire, averaging over 21 and 10 boards in conference play alone. So he's kept that going, and the only chance that Columbia had was that get Mo Luato going, and all of a sudden he's jumped up, made 5 3-pointers. So we've got a whale of a performance going on with these two players and with this game. But you look at the frustration. Columbia has been all over some plays and not been able to come up with loose balls, rebounds, or putbacks.
First trip to the line tonight from Kai Mason, 79% from the stripe. Makes 1 of 2. He's got 6-point game, 7 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. And again, just got those stats again. And it's still only 2 turnovers right now for Yale. Carl Reuter, Blaine Taylor at Columbia. Yale in blue, Columbia in white on the American Sports Network on a Friday night in the Ivy League. 7 minutes remain, 10 to shoot. Isaac Cohen on the floor. Petrasic ball fake. Pull up. Off the mark. Batted around by Kobe. Kept alive and then taken down by Duren. His head is up. Leaves it off on the right side and the finish.
And who else? And who else?
26 for 22 now.
Fear of the Seer. Boy, he is all over it. Up and down the floor. And you look at these possessions, Columbia is so close to getting something.
Low.
They just need to have somebody else that can score. I mean, Mo is not getting enough looks to where he can just bring home the bacon every time.
Off the heel, takes down off his fist, was low. And we got a whistle.
That's the sixth team foul, so it's not a one-on-one. What I would say about the foul situation is Yale got to the line numerous times in the one-on-one and failed to capitalize.
Yes.
So even though they could have had another 6 points at the line, and right now you've got a situation where Columbia will now finally have a chance to maybe attack, get a whistle, and maybe get some free throws at some point.
Down by 8, a little more than 6 minutes remaining. And we might have a little bit of an issue here. Walking over to the Yale bench is Mekhi Mason. Gary Prager saw a cut on his, wow, he's got a few floor burns right there.
Well, when you've got that look at his hands. He's got more tape on him than a prize fighter.
Yeah, that left
and
thumb
so
is all
you're always going to have, you need a cut man when you've got that much tape on you.
He's coming right back in. He's a freshman from Greenfield, Massachusetts, the gym rat.
Angelo Dundee got him taped up there, got him back in action.
Boy, was he a great corner man.
Oh, yeah,
for the greatest ever in Muhammad Ali.
Float like a butterfly and sting like a bee.
Well, that stung on his left elbow, but he's back in the game.
Oh, look at that layup. Oh.
They flip it right back out, all the way up top and into the backcourt.
You look at some of the frustration on the part of Columbia because they're turning it over, can't quite get rebounds back in, and at the other end, the efficiency of Yale with those 2 turnovers we keep talking about, they just keep getting shots. They just keep getting chances to rebound the ball.
Well, still some patience. Knocked away, 10 to shoot, still some time. Here's Lowe. 5 seconds. Kobe. 3-ball. He's got 9, but more importantly, it's a 5-point game.
No problem.
Oh, baby.
You gotta love the action. Mo was so tired of having to shoot the desperation three. He says, your turn, and he answered for him. You come in, and he's looking at trying to get a play, but he really doesn't have one. And they've just been hungering for somebody else to step up and make a shot. And there it is, a really timely three-pointer to keep him in the action. They get a stop, score, 5.5 minutes to go. There's a lot of things that are going to happen in this game.
That was the 7th trifecta of the season for Jeff Kobe, the Columbia Lions. Now down by 5, strike up the pep band on the far side, trying to get the crowd right back into this. And it is a crowd and a half here at Levian Gymnasium. That is not Blaine Taylor, because he can't move like that. Although maybe you can.
Well,
I don't know.
I'm a little more like a lava lamp now. Smooth.
Hey, when you coach, and I did games, you moved up and down the sidelines pretty well.
Yeah, that's the Montana shuffle.
Yeah, is that what that is?
Line dancing.
You can wear your cowboy hat to the gym tonight. Flipping it up was Townsend.
Oh,
out.
boy.
Kobe on the window.
Good look, rattled in and out.
Stuck 5 with 5:15 left. Columbia with the possession.
One of the few possessions they haven't got an offensive board.
Here's Caslin through the double. Kobe again. Strong move. Wouldn't go. Javier Duren with the rebound.
Pressure in transition. I mean, they had a nice look down there, had a chance, but they got their defense back. Yale constantly attacking.
Had the baseline, switched it to his left hand, but couldn't convert with Duren. We're going to go down to the final seconds, maybe the last possession of this one.
Well, the 4-minute mark looming. If they can get a bucket before the 4-minute mark.
And they'll get immediate timeout. There's the bucket!
Oh,
it's a
boy, we got a ball game. Oh, girl!
Steve Frankowski
I'm donating my time for this. They don't have to pay me to do this.
What? Really?
No, I'm just kidding.
2-point game approaching, 4 minutes remaining.
There's been some heroics here the last few trips for Columbia. Because Oluwato, he's going to have to do what he can, but he can't do everything.
10 to shoot for Yale, looking backdoor cut. Contact, blocking foul has been whistled. And it was called on Jeff Kobe. Timeout on the floor. 3:54 left in the contest. Yale by 2 over Columbia on the American Sports Network. Blaine Taylor, as a former coach, almost 400 wins in Division I. A lot of that at Old Dominion. Sum up what we have seen tonight.
Well, you've seen marquee players be marquee players, and one of them under dire circumstances. Justin Sears, reigning player of the week, has been everything we said he was. He's been all over the court, dominating. All of a sudden he's got 26 points at this point. He's going to have a season high with his next basket. He's at the free throw line, going to maybe have a chance to tie it. We had a charge block play, you see here, and the play, the youngster was in the right position. I mean, it's not as if he wasn't there, but when he reached for the ball, that made it an automatic for the official where he had to go with the block rather than the charge. Had he kept his hands in stationary position, he might have gotten the call.
Season high 28 for Justin Sears. 4-point game. Yale on top of Columbia. Got a text during the timeout a little bit before that second half. Former Columbia Lions, Galen Cup says, bring the Lions a W. Quite the player in his time here at Columbia. 3-ball, low!
That's their 10th three. Their 10th three. They've had to all of a sudden just catch fire from deep, and it's been deep.
He's got 6 threes, 20 in the game, 1-point contest. Sears. Long rebound, tap, controlled by Lowe in the backcourt. Columbia with an opportunity to grab the lead with 3 minutes and 10 seconds remaining.
Unbelievable. If you've watched this game and they've got a chance to be ahead, they have had so much perseverance.
And again, the operative number is still 2 for Yale, as in only 2 turnovers. 12 to shoot for 12, the runner. And the rebound to Matt Townsend, the Rhodes Scholar.
This is way too close.
Come on, this is when you excelled as a coach.
Well, I think he almost was out of his comfort zone getting in there and preferring maybe a jump shot to a floater. We're getting down to every possession. You just kind of go, what's going to happen now? What's going to happen now?
Again, double bonus with a shot for every foul against Columbia. Yale only has 16 fouls and only 6 to shoot for Sears. In tight, wouldn't go. Rebound, Kobe. And here comes Lowe out of the backcourt for Columbia.
Well, both the marquee players had a chance to make big plays, extend leads or get leads. And the show goes on. It's just the temperature's rising.
Quite a night for our Star Watch players. Maudo Lowe for Columbia. Justin Sears. That was for the lead. Cashlin missed it. The tie-up. Possession arrow. Yale.
How do you like that? A flop, maybe a charge block call, nothing. Wide open layup and a little bit too firm off the glass for the freshman. And then we get, there's been a lot of wrestling, boy. And underneath these baskets, it's been a bulldog act.
I think Cashlin didn't realize he was that open, Blaine. Am I right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he had to think there was people coming from right, left. There was nobody coming. And, you know, it just happens sometimes. You're a little bit too firm when you're that open.
The last time Columbia led was with 4:12 left in the first. They're down by 1 with 1:40 remaining in the second half.
Clock ticking.
12 to shoot. Here's Duran, baseline left, now going right. Rolled out, rebound Sears. Fresh 35 for Yale. And a timeout by James Jones, the longest tenured Ivy League coach right now, 16th year. There are Star Watch update. Look at the shooting of these two outstanding individuals.
Well, between them, they're 27 for 33, if my math is right. Unbelievable performance to this point. And you look up at a 57 to 58 game, it's like, whoa, what a treat this is to watch these guys perform this way. These two teams go at each other. And again, the magnitude of this game. You all of a sudden have Yale win, 3-0. I mean, you look at the Ivy standings over the years, there's always 4 or 5 teams bunch that have a chance to win the championship in the regular season. With no tournament, it just looms so much bigger. So that's what Yale has at stake. If all of a sudden Columbia can pull this off, they've got a bunch of teams that'll be log jammed at 2-1 in the league race. So there's just so much at stake here, so much excitement sitting here looming in the last minute 26. Can Columbia get a stop? What I'm looking for is them keeping them off the free throw line. Can they keep them off the free throw line? Can they hold them to one shot?
Oh, she's fingers crossed. I'm sure her toes are crossed as well.
Well, James Jones called the timeout. I think he wants to make sure they get a good shot. They're smart in their selection, catch their breath, get ready to play defense no matter what happens.
Montague, Townsend looking for the return. Tied up. They get it to Sears with 18 to shoot. 1:10 remaining.
They're wanting to get Sears, but they keep disrupting the action. Oh, boy.
They got Lowe on the foul and will shoot 2 in the double bonus right now with 1:06 remaining in the contest.
Well, here he just swings it through and he runs into him. I mean, he causes the contact. So if you're, a Columbia fan, you're going, wait a second, he initiated the contact, the whistle blows. But if you just look at the arm across the kid's head on the drive, then if you're on the flip side, you're a Yale fan, you go, well, I mean, that's a foul. So, it's a close game and emotions are running high.
Maudo Lowe picking up his third personal once again. Lead official Gary Prager now being flanked by John Gill, also working with Kenneth Clark, goes to the replay to take a pop and look at it.
Well, you see the emphasis on elbows and heads and chins and whatnot, right there. I'm not sure you can penalize a guy for hitting somebody with their chin or getting hit in the elbow. So I'm sure as they look at it, it's what I would say is inadvertent contact. So I just read Gary's lips, inadvertent.
Yeah.
I saw 3 syllables, inadvertent. That's 4.
That's 4. That's okay. You didn't have to teach English to be a basketball coach.
No, I didn't.
You had, you know what? You had to understand English and how many other languages because of the way the international game, all these players coming over here to the United States to play ball.
Oh, yeah. I remember some of the international kids. I remember one time I said to a guy, we got trouble in River City if this happens, and he goes, what is River City?
Free throw made by Javier Duran. He's got 12. Hey, a lot of Lithuanian guys. Hofstra used to recruit. Remember Arimas Kiesia?
Oh, yeah.
He did some damage against your Old Dominion team.
Quite a good player. Now there's, for population, Lithuania has a lot of players.
2 big free throws by Duran. He's got 13. 1 possession game. Yale by 3. 1:05 remaining. Oh, and the fans have been treated to a beauty.
They have. This possession here, they're going to be patient, but they don't need a 3. They just need a 2.
Petrasic
but they really do need to get Moato Low involved here.
15 to shoot. They look to isolate Low. It was stripped. It's loose. Sears. Excuse me, it wasn't Sears. It was Cotton.
Travel.
He got called for the travel.
Unbelievable.
Now that's only the third turnover. The number finally changed, Blaine.
That's like watching the ball come down in Times Square at New Year's Eve. It just slowly gets to that third turnover. But comedy of errors at both ends. And now all of a sudden we got the team behind three that's been making threes with a chance to tie the game if they make a three.
So 39.4 on your game clock, but it's a fresh 35 for Columbia. All right, put on the coach's hat. Do you take the quick two if you can, or you're looking for three right now?
Well, a lot of teams would say, let's take a quick two and quality three, but the way they've been scoring is with three-pointers. I'm not so sure they won't take their chances at a three and take a quick quality two, kind of flip the strategy a little bit, and then take their chances fouling. The one thing that might come into play is they are in the double bonus, and you're playing against a team that shoots 72% on the year from the free throw line. So do you take your chances on the quick two? I think they'll try three, take quick two would be their strategy, because Yale is an experienced team that would probably have a chance to put them away.
Well, if you're looking for a three, it's going to be number 12. Moato Low's got 6 threes in this game. He's got the rock right now.
Well, now they've got Duran on him, so they put a little bigger player on him. Justin Sears switched on to him.
Oh, Petrasic the three off the heel.
Not a good look.
Down low. And put in by Caslin. He's got 10, 1-point game.
They're going to pressure him. They're going to pressure him. They're going to pressure him.
Timeout called by James Jones, the winningest coach in Yale history, now in his 16th season. His brother Joe's the former coach at Columbia for 7 years. Now Joe is coaching at Boston University, former assistant at Hofstra under Jay Wright, who's now at Villanova, and in fact went with Jay to Villanova for a while.
Yeah, when I first met him, they were with Jay. Really good guys for the profession. James, there's only 19 coaches in the country that have been at their school longer than James. And so, he's just done a whale of a job there over time. Now, if you look at the fouls here, as we mentioned, Columbia is shooting, has over 10, so Yale's shooting 2 at a time. Now, Columbia is probably going to try to trap, steal. With this amount of time on the clock, you might go for one trap and then foul, see what you can get away with trying to get a steal, being that they're such a good free throw shooting team. I don't know who you necessarily go to on the stat sheet to foul. It's just a roll of the dice because they're such a good free throw shooting team.
Well, we'll see when they come out on the floor. But you know that Sears is going to be out there, 65%. He's been to the line a lot tonight.
He has a sense for the stage. He's having a career kind of night, so you don't think you should foul him. But, over the years, in this situation, yes, you go with the percentages, but sometimes, anybody can miss. I think the comfort zone that they have shooting 2 instead of 1-on-1, I think that makes a big difference in this circumstance.
Sears has been to the line 12 times tonight. He's got 8. But let's see how they set it up defensively. The inbound will be triggered by Matt Townsend. 20.1 remaining.
They're in a zone press, so they are going to go for a trap. They're not matched up man. They're trying to get the ball into a corner and get a trap. And they get a foul on Duran.
Well, there's 16.4 now on the clock. So Duran will go to the line. He'll shoot 2. He's 2 for 4 from the line in this game, but 76% for the season. And a timeout call.
Well, 76% on the season. There's a chance that he could miss 1 out of 2. And if he does, then a three-pointer wins it and a 2 ties it. And that's what you hope for, is just percentage-wise. Now, if he makes them both, you've been making 3s, you've been making 2s, you can come down and score quickly and put him to the line again. It becomes just a test of perseverance both ways. Can you keep scoring? Can they keep making free throws? Taking care of the ball and getting looks at this point, Yale has had the advantage there. You've had some mishandles on the part of Columbia, so they're going to have to play clean if they get 1 more possession or 2 more possessions.
Saw that Jeff Kobe had fouled out, the sophomore from Florida, with 9 points. Here's Duran. Oh, that was smooth as silk. He's got 14.
He looked like he'd been around the block on that one.
Yeah, a few times. He is the senior out of St. Louis, Missouri.
He's been in that spot a few times, but then he's also had a game where he's got to the line a bunch.
2 of 2, 15. Well, 16.4. I think number 12 is going to try to spot it up and look for 3. Here's Lowe. Got the screen.
Sears is with him.
7 to play. Partially deflected, pulled down by Yale. And a whistle and a foul in the backcourt with 3.2 remaining.
Well, they brought Sears up into the on ball, which put Sears into a situation where he could get a piece of that shot, kept him in the action. And what was good for Yale was they ended up with probably their 2 best defenders, best shot blockers, bracketing him up high.
Oh.
And had they brought a bigger player into the on ball, maybe he'd had a better chance. But by bringing Sears up there, they ended up having a shot blocker in the play.
Townsend missed the first. It was first attempt from the line tonight, 71% coming in. That might have iced it, because now with 3, unless you're getting fouled, this one is going to be history. And it's thrown out of bounds, and it will be Yale ball, and they'll just kill the 3.2.
Well, they had him open. They just threw the ball out of bounds. It was a pretty good action they ran to get him open down the sideline, and to no avail. Lots of opportunities here for Columbia, but Yale showed their mettle on the road, got a big lead, held on to their lead. Even when it got down to 1, they never got headed in the race.
Throw it back. Sears will kill it. Game time.
Really good performance by Yale in all respects. Across the board players, their marquee guy was really big, great guard play, took care of the ball, got to the glass, got end to end, guarded in big possessions when they needed to, and really typified it at the end of the game where they got to the line, made free throws, shot block on the 3-point attempt that would have tied it. A complete performance on the part of Yale.
For the first time in 14 years, the Yale Bulldogs start the Ivy League season at 3-0. Yale 63, Columbia 59. Outstanding effort by both teams. Back to wrap it all up right after this timeout on ASN.